All right, so Elon Musk was fired. That's definitely not what people have said. People have said it was, an agreement. But do you crash out this hard after a mutual agreement? I don't think so. So a lot has happened in the last week with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Honestly, it is a lot. First off, they parted ways on TV, and Trump gave him a golden key to, I guess, the White House and thanked him for his service at Doge, even though he literally did nothing. Like, ultimately, Doge probably cost the country more money because they have to fix a bunch of things that they broke in the process of cutting funding to a bunch of things. Like, who knew if you just randomly turn things off, things break? Who would have thought? But after he was kicked out and this golden key thing happened, everyone kind of assumed that nothing was going to happen for at least, a couple weeks, because a day after they had this agreement to part ways, Elon Musk did an interview where he talked about rockets and, refused to talk about politics. They tried to bait him in the interview to talk about Trump or politics because having Elon Musk do that in an interview would be really good content. But he didn't budge. He only wanted to talk about spaceships. That's it. So everyone kind of assumed he wasn't going to talk about this for at least a couple weeks, right? Because he literally said, I don't want to speak out against the administration. He literally said that.
I don't want to, speak out against the administration, but I don't want to take responsibility for everything the administration is doing.
But then on June 3rd, he tweeted this. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. And he also said the spending bill contains the largest increase in the debt ceiling in U.S. history, which is true. I talked a little bit about the deficit on the May recap, and yeah, the deficit's like a real problem, and it's going to affect young people, especially because old people, the people who are calling the shots in government right now, will literally be dead by the time it's like an actual big issue. No politician wants to address the deficit because it doesn't look good if you raise taxes and cut services, which has to be done. Now, I'm not saying we cut Medicaid or Social Security, which is what this bill's trying to do. I think we should, audit the Pentagon because they haven't passed an audit in like 7 years or something. Like, I don't know why we're giving such a large portion of the budget to defense when they can't even pass an audit and show us what that money is going towards. But it's kind of weird Elon Musk is trashing this bill so hard because I'm 90% sure he knew that this bill was really bad for people. I mean, they literally talked about how it's going to be really painful for a short amount of time if Trump wins, but the economy will be great. Okay, guys? Like, they literally talked about this. It's not me schizo posting. They addressed this and talked about how things were going to be really bad for a little while. I think they knew that it was going to be bad. Elon Musk also said this is going to cause a recession, which I also think it will. It's weird that as soon as he got kicked out of the White House, he became really woke again. But clearly the reason he suddenly cares a lot about this bill is because Trump kicked him out of the White House and ketamine told him that Trump is now the enemy. Coward. That is the only reasonable explanation for all this because, yeah, we all knew this was bad. Elon Musk is only tweeting about it now because Trump is the new enemy number one. And it also puzzled a good amount of people and didn't make much sense for Elon Musk because, for example, the EV tax credit was getting slashed. That hurts Elon Musk. There was some things about the tariffs that would benefit Elon Musk, but overall, he was kind of getting shafted with all of it. And also, he just seemed really out of place. The general vibe from literally everyone was that no one actually liked this guy. He was just there because he had a lot of money. That's pretty much it. Personally, I'm pretty convinced that most people that like Elon Musk still are probably bot accounts on Twitter. I actually don't know many people that still like this guy. But after Elon Musk started tweeting about all this stuff, he went on for literally hours because he's definitely just sitting there retweeting stuff about this and posting about it. It's a lot. He is clearly very upset. And since Trump and Elon aren't actually talking to each other, they're just subtweeting each other, and then Trump subtweeted about removing subsidies from SpaceX, which I just want to say, this is not how our government should operate, even though I do actually, I'm on board with that personally. I think we should subsidize industry. I just don't know exactly how to do it, and I don't think giving capital to capitalist companies is really helping a lot. Some subsidies you actually need, farming subsidies are pretty important, okay? But I question how useful a Tesla subsidy was and a SpaceX subsidy was. We probably could have used that money better. I don't know for sure, though. This is just a hot take. I do 100% think, though, that bailouts are a bad idea. The big thing bailed out in 2008 was a terrible decision. I don't care what anyone says about how much worse it would have been. It's way worse now because now we have to deal with companies that are literally trying to get too big to fail, okay? The reason Klarna and all these companies are, trying to get as big as possible is because they know if they're big enough and they go under, there'll be a big enough problem and get bailouts. That's literally the whole game. So I'm not a fan of bailouts at all. Subsidies are maybe they're useful. In the case of SpaceX and Tesla, though, I don't really see why we should have kept these as long as we did, but I am also a little bit biased. I do not like this man, okay? And I'm not gonna die on that hill. I could totally be wrong about that. But regardless of that, The government should not work in a way where the president is threatening subsidies of a company. This shouldn't be a thing. As much as I currently don't like either of these two people, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, this is great. It's not good. And then after this happened, Elon Musk dropped a real bombshell, quote unquote. He tweeted the real reason the Epstein files had not been released is because Trump's name is in them. And yeah, we all knew that. Like, here's a video of Donald Trump at Jeffrey Epstein's party, bro. Okay, we all knew that. We all knew his name is everywhere in these logs. Like, there is very little doubt in my mind that Trump is guilty of this stuff. But at this point, I don't know if they're gonna get back together like ever, because you're kind of blowing up the bridge. Like, Elon Musk going out and saying all this stuff looks really bad on both their parts, because Trump is basically openly admitting that, yeah, I was using you. And then Elon Musk is also saying the same thing, except he's also admitting that it's like, hey, I knew you were with that Jeffrey Epstein guy. I knew you liked that guy a lot. Like, he's saying all this stuff like it wasn't obvious to most people. And then it's like, okay, so we confirm now you knew all this stuff, Elon Musk, and you still let your kid around this guy? Really? But that's been a video. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new, and follow me on Blue Sky down below, and I have a Discord server as well. And click the answer down to more of my content, and have a good one.